is the only hybrid event that we are organizing here. I'm Cristina Baghiu, together with Simona. She will present herself, and Rita, and I'm sorry because I cannot pronounce your last names. This is part of our work in Merit program, which is an international program on under Digital Europe, developed by 4 universities with the focus on creating a number of master programs and short-term skills on deep tech topics. And one of these topics is presented today. It's about cybersecurity. We are being joined online by some of the partners, experts, and also our industry experts from different countries. And we can present now the Romanian organizations. There is an expert there with Tiberiu Bărăboi. Hello, hi Tiberiu. And Fort with Andrei. Hello, Andrei. Thank you. And now I will give the floor to my colleagues, Simona, Rita.
Hello. So basically, Cristina presented us. So I'm Simona Romanskaite.
And I'm Rota Preta from the Technical University.
And if we remember correctly the agenda, so basically Tiberiu, those 2 partners from Romania will present the main topics which are related to cybersecurity, and also there will be some kind of elements of artificial intelligence in it because it changes more or less. And then we will have discussion, and also be free to join anyone who wants. Don't be scared of us.
Yes, thank you. And although this is our ladies panel, everybody is welcome here because we want to change the scene in cybersecurity in Europe. That's why the master program, actually, and that's why this interaction. So who is the first on the agenda? Andrei. Andrei, you can share what you are doing on cyber.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry I couldn't be there physically, but I'm sure we will see each other live on future events. Just a second to share my screen. Please let me know. Everybody is seeing my screen, right? My presentation.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Thank you for having me today, and I hope I will be able to share some insights and some meaningful information related to modern cybersecurity threats and how we see them being influenced by the rise of AI and similar technologies. Just a few words about myself. My name is Andrei Resnarița. I'm Chief Revenue Officer at Fort. I've been with the company since its founding in 2015. Throughout my career here, I had several jobs related to project management and IT audit, and now I'm handling our international expansion here at Fort. And I'm also extremely passionate about woodworking, not only IT, but analog things as well. Jumping into our conversation today, I wanted to see why are we having this discussion? Why is AI in cybersecurity such a relevant discussion, in my opinion? As you can clearly see, we have numerous statistics that point out that cybersecurity attacks have been on the rise in the past years, and it started to migrate more towards the general population as well, not only to large-scale enterprises and government level. And that is something that we need to take into consideration when we're looking at the cybersecurity landscape in the future. We have a rise of over 30% quarter over quarter within cybersecurity attacks that are targeting more and more organizations, more and more individuals, and more platforms where people are reaching out and are present in social media or workspaces. As you can see, the top three areas where cybersecurity attacks are still very active is education and research, government, and medical. And I think that all three areas have been lagging a bit in being updated and being up to date with modern cybersecurity response strategies, because these are some areas that generally don't benefit from a lot of financing, such as the finance sector, for example, and these are still some of the most vulnerable areas in our society. And to jump further within the segment related to AI and the risks, the extremely fast rise of AI and Gen AI and LLMs and the models that have become commercially available to everybody, I think has triggered a huge increase within cybersecurity threats and the types of threats that we're seeing nowadays. And in my opinion, AI gave everybody cybersecurity or gave everybody a gun in terms of being and deploying threatening activities online. Why am I saying this? Is because ChatGPT and similar platforms. I know that ChatGPT is the most known one, and this is the one I'm gonna talk about the most, but it's not obviously not just about this one, is about all these similar platforms, because they all offer similar capabilities. They still have a lot of vulnerabilities in terms of, first of all, they can be attacked on their own. They can be instructed and prompted to generate malicious code. As you see in my presentation, we're talking about AI jailbreaks, where in various strategies and technology, you can instruct a similar platform or ChatGPT platform to provide certain responses, either by do anything now strategies or Simon Says, or by character play with ChatGPT or switch method. And all these reflect and generate responses that would not have been accessible to an attacker without the help of ChatGPT. So these are one of the ways in which ChatGPT is helping cyber criminals grow their attack vectors and their offensive capabilities. On the other side, we see a lot more AI-generated attacks within several types of environments, whether we're talking about cyber engineering, social engineering, where we see more and more highly accurate and very, very customized and context-specific cyber attacks. If we're looking like 3 or 4 years ago, where we saw like these really, really badly drawn email campaigns, phishing campaigns, and with poor spelling and crappy logos inserted within the email. Nowadays, even for cybersecurity experts, it's really hard to identify whether an email is genuine or is a malicious one. We see a lot of new types of attacks where attackers use AI-generated tools to target help desk platforms in order to bypass multi-factor authentication when logging into different organizational accounts. We're looking at generating payloads, and we're looking at ransomware as a service being something that is hugely growing in the past year. As I mentioned earlier, ChatGPT and similar platforms still have a lot of bugs and vulnerabilities in terms of how do they set boundaries and how do they set clear rules about how attackers can prompt and obtain information for themselves. As you can see in this example, that's not very recent, but I'm sure that these kinds of breaches are still active, maybe not in ChatGPT, but in similar younger platforms. By encompassing very, very technical requests related to WAF bypass and payloads within a very cute story about your grandma that passed away, ChatGPT will give you very detailed instructions about how you can bypass a WAF protection if you know how to ask it. And in our opinion, some potential jobs, quote unquote, will start to be available in terms of threat product managers. You won't need to know that much coding or apps or prompting. You would just need to know how to construct and how to ask for different pieces of code from ChatGPT that you can include and develop new attack vectors. And obviously, one of the most interesting and up-to-date and modern attack vectors is the deep fake. We see so many new technologies, so many new videos online with politicians and actors and influencers prompting different kinds of activities for us to perform, and they've become more and more realistic. This past year, one of the biggest deep fake attacks that took place within a company that paid 25 million euros after a deep fake conversation with the company's CFO. So as you see, there are the implications of deep fake start to be very, very serious. It's no longer something extremely niche that only large scale criminal organizations are employing. And the deep fake, and with the rise of AI and so on, they become easier to produce, easier to distribute. They can be highly trained to be highly targeted towards a specific group of people online. They have a higher risk of success, and they also have the backdrop of it that is that they reduce the level of trust within social media, because if you keep going online and you keep seeing deep fake attacks, you will lose interest in joining different kinds of social media outlets. And obviously, the rise has been documented, and it's 30 times bigger in 2023 compared to 2022. So if this exponential rate continues, we will see so many more deepfake attacks going on in the next period. But obviously, AI is not only a tool used for bad. I don't want to turn this presentation into a very negative one. I want to emphasize and bring forth the benefits that AI brings to the table. And one of the biggest ones is the power of correlation. Given the fact that it can analyze so many data sources and put together and identify patterns and attack vectors in general, it's a huge help, especially for SOC providers and for SOC engineering. And I'm sure Tiberi will talk a lot more about this in his upcoming presentation. It brings an invaluable help to SOC providers, and it allows them to have a reduced number of engineers working, because it provides so many many important inputs within the whole traffic analysis process. And as you very well know, there's an old saying that you can't see the forest for the trees. And I think that this is the case here as well, where there's so many traffic to analyze that it's very hard for us sometimes and for SOC engineers to see an impending attack due to the huge volume of traffic that are analyzing. And one of the key benefits of AI and AI-driven tools is that they can cut through all this clutter and help cybersecurity professionals better identify upcoming attacks. And obviously, there is no one sure solution to combat these AI-generated attacks and attacks in general. So there is no one shoe fits all approach when it comes to cybersecurity. And I think the best kind of defense is a layered one. And just as a good cake should be, you should have layers when it comes to your cybersecurity strategy. And at the base of it, I think you should have very business-specific IT governance framework set in place. There are so many great frameworks out there that have been generated and created by industry-leading professionals, but not all of them are relevant and specific to your organization. And you need to figure out what is best for you and how do you adapt that framework to your organization and to your risk profile. And on top of that, you need to find the relevant IT solutions, because nowadays, I think one of the biggest problems for security officer and IT managers is identifying the right solutions to put within their technology stack, because there are so many great new technologies out there and there's new tech coming out every day. It's a very big hustle to identify the right solution to fit within your organization. And obviously, we shouldn't rely everything on technology. We should heavily invest in people skills and develop more mature and more talented teams to implement these security principles within your organizations. And obviously, the cherry on top of this cake should be having a trusted SOC provider that can help you identify and navigate all these different vulnerabilities that your organization faces. And obviously, we need to have a set of rules for ourselves that can help us navigate all this very complicated and very strenuous landscape that we're going through and surviving all this AI generated both attacks and AI supported tools. And one of the first things that you need to take into consideration is thinking like a hacker. What would you do and what would a hacker need from you in order to have access to your data, to your money, to your information, or to your infrastructure? Try to position yourself as somebody who wants to do harm to you, and don't be trustworthy, because the internet is not a friendly place. Another thing that I think you should consider is that not every problem requires an AI powered solution. So right now we see that every solution out there right now is AI powered. There's no technology provider out there that doesn't incorporate AI within the solution. But sometimes you don't need a hugely complicated AI driven solution to resolve the problem that you're having. Another thing that I think is very important, and I keep talking with our customers about it, is when something bad happens, take a second, breathe, and see what you need to do. Look at your business continuity plan, talk to your suppliers, follow what you have been preparing for. Don't panic and don't pay ransomwares, and don't take rash decisions without taking everything into consideration. Obviously, a key aspect of navigating this landscape is you need to keep learning and keep being curious about the modern threats and the modern solutions out there. And also, you need to build trust, not only within your organization, but build trust with your suppliers and find suppliers and partners with which you can build trust and with which you are sure that you have a lot of accurate and relevant trust principles deployed. Because you see that all modern regulation started to put a lot of focus on third-party providers within organizations. And this is one of the aspects that you need to take into consideration when choosing a partner, not only their security certifications, but also evaluate how you can build trust with them. And the last one is not very attractive, and I'm sure a lot of people don't enjoy this, but it is relevant moving forward, is support the development and implementation of regulation, because regulation can set good boundaries and define a good framework to implement and administer these kind of solutions and new technologies that are coming out there. Thank you for your attention. I know I speak a lot and I speak fast, and I hope it made sense and I provided some useful information about this sector. So I don't know whether you like to take presentations, take questions now or after Tiberius' presentation.
Yeah, thank you. And according to the agenda, now we should be listening to another of our presenters from Romania, Tiberius.
Well,
Okay,
sure.
thank you.
Thank you, Andrei. Yeah, very good. Yeah, your overview. I will be sharing the screen, and we go in a minute. Okay, I hope you see my screen. So because it's on the same laptop as the camera, so I'll present myself. I'm Tiberiu Baraboy, one of the founders of Expertware. I have 25 plus years in IT. I graduated computer science in '95, did a master in AI. And yeah, as a funny thing, so the same algorithm, they were being researched at that time, neural networks, genetical algorithms, and so on. Just that now, with the help of the hardware and the popularization of the algorithm, it's something everybody can test, can try. Then it was very academical. We had to write it from scratch, such algorithm. Our presentation, in fact, is centered around the Symbiote, which is a EU project. We got a grant, and it was at the time last year the biggest grant with the highest score for innovative cybersecurity solution. And of course, we combine cybersecurity with AI with the aim of creating a learning platform, in fact. But let me just go very quickly to, because there are a lot of slides here. Our company, what we do, it's less relevant, but we have around 7.5 millions, and a big chunk of it is cybersecurity and managed services. Our company is 100 plus people. We started just 2. Now, back to the cybersecurity squeeze, it's something which Andrei presented. I wanted just to highlight that besides of the more attack we have and the higher cost of an attack, we do have a gap of around 4 million jobs opened and not fulfilled in Europe, cybersecurity jobs. We do see an increase in the cost of a cybersecurity attacks, and we do have a lot of tougher regulations. Yeah, NIS2, DORA, CRA, cyber resilience, and to the cherry on the top, or I would say the sour cherry on the top, it's the political unrest, the war which takes place in Ukraine. And in fact, with a week before the war, we notified on our SOC 35 times more discovery, more attacks, more attempts to penetrate a perimeter, a cybersecurity perimeter. So having this squeeze, we thought, okay, how can we help both with a platform to help end-to-end defend our customers, but as well, something we didn't find ourselves, with a good training and research data lake, so we can train our teams. Yeah, I want to train my guys. They graduated computer science, but they by no means prepare for a cybersecurity SOC analyst job. Yeah. So struggling to find competitive, we said we have to build a platform, we have to build the research data lake, and ideally to build an offering, a commercial offering, to give, instead of named engineers, a team who will do those specific services. Yeah. The pain points are the same: hard to find very good cybersecurity engineers, expensive to keep, unpredictable. They might change because it's such a big offer. They might change jobs, and usually it's inefficient because if a very good engineer is getting ill, customers are not covered. Now, Andrei presented how AI can influence. I tried to show you that, cybersecurity attacks can happen everywhere, on your laptop, on your network, on your building, on your Wi-Fi, on your mobile, and of course, on your applications and cloud applications. And it's not sufficient to have firewalls, antivirus, or EDRs, backups, and support. Yeah. So I will go very quick. I don't want to show you everything what a security operations center does, although here it tries to depict many, many facets and many roles, which in fact, for a good coverage, a company should have for each of these specific competencies, should have maybe not the employees, but have the skills subcontracted from a security service provider. To answer to that, and this is the architecture, in fact, of our platform, which, by the way, we have it. You can see it, hopefully, if we have the time. So the platform, and I will try to explain, it has multiple customer tenants. In fact, for each tenant, there is a tailored tenant for that customer based on its size. Yeah. So indeed, not one size fits all. So we created multiple sizes for multiple customers. If a new customer of a specific size appears, we just deploy a tenant, which is a deployment, an automatic deployment, very quickly. All the connections between the various components are done. We do use open source behind, but the goal is to replace something which for a customer would have been 2, 3, 4, 5 months of consultancy, expensive consultancy to build a good cybersecurity platform with the CM, EDR, monitoring, NOC, SOC, to build it for them automatically. Yeah. It's not AI, it's a lot of automation for the moment. But, out of all these tenants, which we protect and we enrich with vulnerability scanning, with CTI information, and here we do have enrichment of the CTI. We do collect CTI information. We have more than 10 billion CTI events and indicators collected, and we ingest between 15 and 20,000 every day. And why it's important to ingest so many security indicators is because those give us early alerts about a potential attack. Yeah. So I need to have all those information in the platform to enable automatic rules to detect out of the big security events logs which are being sent, to detect the real ones, the attacks, the ones which affect me. Out of all these tenants, in fact, in the work package 5, we create an anonymized data lake. So in fact, we do feed from each customer tenants. Right now we have 3 tenants. By February, probably we'll have 5 tenants or more than 5 tenants. And somewhere mid next year, we intend to have 10 customer tenants from various industries. All are European customers, many of them with multinational, so they have presence in multiple countries. And from there, we anonymize, and we generate a training and research data lake, and we build a training and research portal. Now, this is what we have in the application, and I will show it quickly. Live security posture. We ingest from multiple clouds. You see here Azure, on-premise VMware. We create alerts and cases automatically. Some of them are automatically labeled. We create metrics about how many logs, how many events, at what time of the day, from which device, which applications, in such a way that based on those metrics, I can use some machine learning algorithm to tell me if I have deviations. Security alerts, collection, qualification, and aggregation from multiple sources. You have here some print screens. We prioritize and contextualize the alerts because it's not sufficient to get the alerts in isolation. I need to see in the context the timelines of the alert to potentially raise or lower the criticality of that alert. Everything is combined, as I said, with the live event and CTI streams, meaning that if new indicator of compromise, like a potential offensive IP address or site used by the hackers, is being detected, the CTI will automatically tell us, oh, that's an offensive IP address or a domain name. Please generate an alert if you see any traffic towards that specific IP or DNS domain. On top of that, we automatically scan and discover a multi-angle vulnerability detection. What means multi-angle? I'm not looking just from an agent. You have an EDR agent will tell you probably some of the vulnerabilities detected, but I have to look as well at the network traffic analysis. I have to run some other scans, offline scans, appliance scans, and some of them are Qualys, Nessus, OpenBus, in such a way that I want to have a multi-view image of the vulnerabilities for all my devices and not just PCs, because a device is also the Wi-Fi access point, it's your router, your switch, and I need to know if those have known vulnerabilities, if those can be easily compromised by a potential attacker. And that's something we didn't see in many tools, and we try to have it in an integrated platform, not to use yet another tool to detect your network vulnerability, but to have it everything in one place. Yeah. Asset management, that comes also with a little bit of, maybe it's a lot said AI, but a lot of clever detection. Because I give you an example, if I detect that one internal server talks with 5 IPs, but talks with one IP out of the 5, which is not on my platform, is not onboarded, but I see it based on the IP address that it must be an internal asset. So then we raise automatically alerts of, okay, what's happened? Why don't you manage this particular IP address? Because it seems it's your IP address. It seems that it's in your network, but I don't see it monitored for vulnerabilities. I don't see it managed in any way. So I need to raise an alert to deal with that. Those hidden assets are a very, it's a favorite entry point for many of the attackers, because if it's left somewhere under a desk and it's not managed by anything, by a system management platform like Intune or a CCM, by an antivirus or an EDR platform, that means that they will have a lot of vulnerabilities. So probably they can be very easily exploited. So those asset management is included with a lot of enrichment. And we put in the same platform the capability to manage, from alerts to generate security incidents and manage them. What means manage? So the analyst will need to really do additional checks, put notes. It's like an incident management platform, but tailored for cybersecurity events, because they have access in real time to the CTI and to the event stream coming either from the EDR or from network traffic analysis. That's the CTI platform. In fact, that's shared by all our tenants. So all our customers having a dedicated CMBO tenant, they will leverage the CTI platform. And in fact, on the CTI platform, we have a lot of enrichments, geolocations from where it comes, even dashboards with, okay, these are the attacks we notify, for example, for retail. These are the attacks we see for financials, Western Europe, or financial entities, Central Europe. So this tailored dashboards, or in fact, set of live KPIs and metrics and graphs, they are renewed every second based on the information received. And as I repeat myself, we have 20,000 such events received every day. Yeah. So it's very hard for a team, a person, a human being to go those and filter those. So that's why we need automation and this platform to assist us there. Now, as I said, and here will appear, I would say, the machine learning, but you'll see it out of the demo tenant. So the training and research portal is for 2025. It's then when we, according to the European project, is we have to deliver it. It's end of February next year, probably will be faster. We aim to have more than 10 distinct customer. By a customer means an organization where we monitor everything, network, devices, endpoints, and those, each of them, they are in a CMBO tenant. More than 5,000 devices, which will send continuously security events and alerts to their tenant, and from their tenant anonymized into the training and research data lake. And there we will have the possibility to give you as a customer or a partner the capability to train your guys, to train a team of security engineers. And how you can train it? we will have penetration tests and we'll have simulation to all of our customers in such a way that in the anonymized training and research portal, you will have traces of attacks. Now, it will be a challenge, find, specific attack between that period of time, find privilege escalation between that period of time, find lateral movement, find discovery. So teachers or mentors can create such exercises, can create set of exercises, but against not a fake platform, it against a real one, just anonymized. So they will have real life events, not a cooked exercise, yeah, not a conquer the flag where you have 2 servers and you have to do some exercises. Here they will have 5,000 devices, very complex networks, and they will be able to hunt for some of our simulations or find some of the real attacks. Yeah. And on that platform, because it will be a lot of data, we intend to, of course, put AI and large language model. In fact, more RAG, because large language model can help you do the analysis. You use prompts to use the analysis, but in fact, we want to do reinforcement learning and RAG algorithms to detect patterns based on the events which we have there. And patterns and anomalies, I will go here explaining what's that. That's in fact, we won a new project which should start as of next year, but will be as a continuation to the Symbiot. It's called Asymmetry, and in fact, there we leverage the anonymized data lake, but we use it there to find user and entity behavior analysis, to define the entropy of an asset, and use the machine learning to give us some insight which a person couldn't do it by himself. For example, the shifting attention windows means that I need to look every week or every 30 days for specific patterns of communication. And the machine learning will tell me if they detect, for example, a suspicious potential command and control IP address, and how they will judge or how they will find, because we need to train it. So we have some scenarios. They will find it based on, today I see my servers are talking with an unknown IP address, and I have 2 servers. Next week, I have 4 servers talking with that one IP address. Yeah. The traffic is random, not a lot of traffic, but I see an increase in the number of servers which are talking with an unknown external IP address. Yeah, that will be an indication. But for that, I need to look for aggregated period of times. And it's hard for us to depict all the possible scenarios and aggregation. What's an aggregation? It's a week, it's a month, it's a year. But with the help of large language or machine learning, not LLMs, we will be able to train the machine to look itself for such anomalies and help us by giving unknown alerts and unknown alerts or suspicious events, but across a large volume of events, not punctual to alerts and correlate that alerts. That we can do it today. That will show us hopefully really undetected attacks, and or they will detect faster the attacks, which we wait for really an occurrence, an event on a system to appear to know that I'm attacked. With the help of machine learning and asymmetry, we will know that a lot faster. Now the Symbiot, and I will show the platform in a minute just to see that what we discussed here, it's live and you can join it if you are interested as a partner. We have demos and we have grace periods of 3, 6, 12 months depending of the perspective after that. Just to put my keyboard, because I will lose the keyboard probably. Okay. So the Symbiot and cybersecurity. Who are we? That's maybe less relevant for the technical part, but what's relevant is that we do have these 4 million EU grants, and both of them, they are, in fact, are 3 innovative, but 2 big projects where we are coordinators, are for innovation in cybersecurity with AI. So exactly the topic of today, and they should help you train and research, because we really want to have a better training and research, less dependent of the US. Today, I would say we are a little bit dependent, yeah. some of our customers. So we have very big names, known European names. You see them here. We do cybersecurity for them, so that shows that somehow we got their trust, because otherwise they don't look at a company, at a Romanian company of 100 people. So we gain their trust, and in fact we do quite a bit of services for them. Yeah. You can join ours, and the presentation will allow you to join, but I'll show you the platform. So in fact, my details, you find me Tiberiu Baraboy at experto.net or LinkedIn in Tiberiu Baraboy, in one word.
Thank you so much for sharing. I some time for discussing also with the guests here. I think Simona has, or Ruta, you have some questions about the topic. Thank you, Tiberiu.
Yeah, I stop sharing, or I leave the platform in the background.
I think I can stop sharing, and if
Okay.
it's needed, we can have the platform, please. If you have any questions.
Yes, I have questions, and the first question is mainly for Andrea, but also others colleagues are very welcome to answer. So here in Deep Tech Learning Skill Days, we have a lot of discussions regarding the future skills and competencies. So my question is actually, how do you see what would be the future competencies of cybersecurity specialists, considering these new threats that are emerging technology driven?
That's a very valid question. I think the rise of AI has generated a lot of questions related to what jobs will disappear in the future and what jobs will appear, because obviously it's a natural life cycle. We constantly see jobs disappearing and new ones appearing. So I think that one of the most relevant areas where people should start learning is AI prompting, to have a better understanding what these tools can do and what these tools can be used for in the future. And I think we should try to avoid or to start building competencies in automatable activities, because obviously that's what AI will start doing. They will handle, and it will handle the automated parts of an organization or of a process. So don't start learning things that will be automated. That's my opinion and suggestion.
Maybe I will extend the discussion. Like even yesterday as well as today, we were listening about how it's important to educate those deep tech talents, like why it will be important. And always we are thinking about security area as the one which is more like bachelor degree, master degree, something like this. But when we are facing all those artificial intelligence availability, basically possibilities, like I'm starting thinking like, is it really enough? Cybersecurity as well as artificial intelligence becomes like for the general society as well, because I kind of liked the symbiote system, because it was showing, it gives you a practical experience to touch what's happening, to visualize and so on. If we will be teaching, for example, students, pupils, grown-ups about cybersecurity, they usually say like, okay, it's not related to me. And when the attack is happening, they do not know how to react. So I'm thinking like, yes, symbiote probably will be more oriented on the industry, on the organization. We as an academic institution also should be thinking about students, pupils, how to educate the society, how to make sure they are aware of the cybersecurity threats. So I'm not sure, does any one of you have something to share the advice? Because like also I liked yesterday one presentation, which was saying like deep tech talent. So we should grow it from the scratch, from the family, somewhere here. So how to start from this? Like how to, should we define into some categories training? Should it be one general for society and another just for specialists? Also, audience, be free to participate. Yeah,
So
because no one is seeing.
in fact, I put in the chat, I put the details. Yeah, we do have a curated cybersecurity list with events, which is completely free. You don't need to authenticate, you don't need anything, and it is curated, meaning every day we go through 30, 100 articles, and we pick some which we believe that they are, relevant for Europe, in fact, and our customers in particular. There you will see, if you go to the cmbiot.eu, you will see there you have become a partner, and you can become just as a academical partner, intending as of next year to use the platform to train your students and to help, in fact, because it's a collaborative platform. So if, for example, you create some exercises, you detect some either of our simulation or real attacks, but based on that anonymized cyber range, you can allow others to use your exercises. Exercises meaning, um, you do certain queries, not one, but several. You detect a potential attack or a real attack or an indicator of compromise. And in that moment, you can describe there as an exercise with what's expected from the students, how to do it if they don't know it. Yeah, they will have a solution how to do it if they don't know it. We might introduce even the possibility to score them. That's not something we promised in the EU project, but we might add the capability for a mentor to score its class. But very important to create those exercises. And those exercises we will all benefit. If a university will create some exercises, which of course needs to be meaningful, they can be shared, and they can be shared not with the rest of the world, but with curated partners of the CMBIOT as a collaborative platform.
I asked the question, but probably I will also answer what we are doing in Merit project. Like, as it was introduced, like the project is more about master study programs, and yeah, we have different ones in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, IoT fields. But what additional activity we have, it's called society edification. Usually we call it like this. So we have some target groups like undergraduates, pupils in secondary schools, also this long life learning, like retired people, which also needs to know all about the security and AI areas. And at least our approach is to try to give some practical tasks. So for example, also there was one slide like how to use large language models to get some kind of a help. So it means even artificial intelligence increases the landscape of possible attackers. Previously, those who were trying some attacks were either experts in the field or very eager with some at least technical background. Now everyone can try. And there is even a question like who is more threatening, the one who knows what he is doing or the one which just accidentally took some prompt and, for example, deleted all your data without even understanding maybe it will increase some, or even delete his own data by just testing. So this is why we think like training pupils, young age persons is very relevant. And also why we invite some industry to join, like those someday will become your employees. So would you be willing to get employees with no cybersecurity, artificial intelligence knowledge, and with some kind of a background? So
now what we see, and that's from purely my experience, we see many organizations, they do have a lot of awareness, cybersecurity awareness courses, and those are not a one-off. Those are regular courses, and in fact, they do every month simulations of attack, phishing attacks, even ransomware attacks, to see if the employees, not the technical ones, they will become a victim of those attacks. And whoever is failing a phishing attack or a social engineering schema will receive as an assignment from the organization to how mandatory do those to go through 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of courses, trying to show very, very basic, very non-technical movies, but try to raise their awareness. Yeah, so that we see that it's happening already in the organizations. What
And
we try, yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry to be.
What I wanted to say is really on the technical side, on really the back end of all these events, it's not an easy skill to combine the two, the AI and the cybersecurity. There are not many models yet. There are some models, but not many models. So here we can still play a role of innovator and come with relevant models, as I said, shifting windows or some models which are not yet done and will give us a competitive advantage, and why not create a commercial product which Europe can, sell elsewhere versus importing quite a bit from US. Yeah.
And also we see that that same focus towards awareness training in all current regulation. NIS2 has a lot of focus on that, DORA as well. So that's also because obviously not everybody is so keen and so open to do a proactive training campaign within their organization. But at the when you see the authorities pushing for it, you start doing and taking that into consideration. And for example, for the, let's say, highly regulated sectors such as the finance sector, they've been doing that for years, and we see a bigger level and a more advanced maturity level within their employees. So that's something definitely companies started to be more interested in.
Yes, thank you for interesting discussion. So if you are looking actually on different research about the skills and other things, there is a big emphasis on that actually the soft skills and behavior aspects in cybersecurity is becoming more and more important. That actually these technical skills, of course, they are important, but this behavior aspects like critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and other, it become even more important. Also, yesterday on these discussions, we heard that regarding other deep touch skills area. So, can you a bit elaborate actually how the use of CMBot or different platforms would enhance the soft skills, or maybe you have some other suggestions what should we do to focus also on these soft skills and behavioral aspects?
Um, I can describe that from the CMBOT perspective and in general from an MSSP managed security service provider. So soft skills are and they will remain very important for any job, not just the cybersecurity, for any job where there is interaction between a team and other teams. Yeah. And cybersecurity, if we do a managed service security service provider, we are doing for our customers. Yeah. But that means that our engineers, our security engineers, with their hard skills, their technologies and competencies, they need to interact and escalate sometimes incidents based on their criticality, maybe in the middle of the night, and they need maybe to call the CX level employee of the customer. So of course, communication remains very important. Of course, logic and thinking is very important. So you do not wake a CEO, CFO, CIO, CTO in the middle of the night for a fake false alarm. So you really need to do proper judging that that's a real attack versus a false positive. That they were and they remain very important. In fact, for us, it's less important when we hire people. They need, yes, we need to judge their logical reasoning capabilities, which you can judge sometimes based on the school, how hard it was at university or not. But we don't count today, unfortunately, so much on the curriculum they end when they finish the academics. In fact, we get them for their skills, their capabilities, and we train them. And one very important aspect, we have three interviews, one of them being technical, and two, the others are for the soft skills and, personality and character. And like us, probably there are many organizations doing the same.
Yeah, and talking about those soft skills, probably most of you got an email saying like some, I don't know, Africa prince left some kind of, or some rich and known relative give you a fortune. So yeah, those are like phishing attacks. And nowadays, when the AI, generative AI exists, like we get even spear phishing attacks. So what our university used to did, they analyze like how the usage of spear phishing affects the effectiveness. And yeah, it was in numbers, not just some percentage. Like if I'm using, because the spear phishing, like they include some your data. Even I used to got like, I know your login and password. And yeah, it was my correct logins and passwords. But by adding some additional information, they were too creative and understood like, okay, I never did that. I shouldn't be paying attention to it. So like the phishing attack, it becomes very effective if you know how to generate. GenAI helps to generate. So those also spear phishing attacks if we get some information. So the results, what they achieved also were comparison, like if person is writing the spear phishing attack email and if the GenAI is writing spear phishing attack, who do you think was more efficient? Because the difference was almost about 30% in the effectiveness. Is still human better on spear phishing or large language models?
Today, I would say it's a combination, yeah, because we saw the same, and in fact, it grew. I believe Andrei mentioned as well, since ChatGPT and Gemini AI and Claude 3 they appeared. Attackers are using all of them, not just one, yeah. So they are using several of them to improve and tailor. But there is always, for a good attack, it uses AI, but the final touches are human done. So it's a combination of AI plus human. It's, if you do it just AI, it's easily detectable that it's just AI. Yeah.
So still the human needs to construct or to come up with the idea, right? The GenAI can build the text and can identify potential targets and build a better attack. But still, the human is the one, because obviously social engineering is nothing more than exploiting a human behavior. And being human behavior, you still need some humans to identify it. Yes, Umberto, go ahead. You're muted.
Mute.
Yeah. Thank you, Tiberio, for the presentation of CMBIOT. I had two questions that you also kind of mentioned earlier. First one, to try and report incidents to the CEO level, the C-suite. I was wondering if CMBIOT, the platform, helps in developing those reports. And about false positive, whether you think AI will initially increase or decrease false positives in analyzing incidents.
So for the first question, yes, we do use the platform as a security incident management platform, which normally it's between us, the SOC team, but at a certain point we have the playbook and we need to escalate towards the customer, either the IT operation team, either higher if the IT operation doesn't do it. Yeah. From CMBIOT, in fact, we usually, and we have already out of the box integration with ServiceNow and Jira, we go into the customer ITSM and we create either a problem or a major incident as a web service. But that should be, the 5 steps after we did a lot of investigations. We are sure of the attack and then we create it over there, purely not to change the mechanism, the problem management and major incident mechanism, which usually big organization, they have already a process. Yeah, the process is in place. There is a problem manager, there is a major incident war room. So usually when we detect, we integrate with them. But everything until the moment when we are sure and we really need to escalate towards the customer is done in the platform. And in fact, another thing which we do, because most of the companies, they don't give access, you see just the incidents. You don't see how many false alerts you had and how many, because there are, I'd say, alerts which are automatically qualified today, no AI, but automatically, there are criteria to automatically filter them as non-essentials. And you have alerts which require more, maybe additional checks, we call it, and investigations. And after that, you have alerts which will become security incidents. Yeah, customers have visibility to that, so they see how many alerts are automatically classified, how many are investigated, and out of the ones investigated, how many translate into security incident. And more, they see also per types of attacks, because we do have, if I can share the screen just a second, we have per types of attack, the MITRE attack framework. How protected, where I am protected or I'm not protected. Let me just show in the platform just to find it. Okay, you have it here. And if I go to the attacks, because we had the question for the customer, to what I'm protected? Yeah, you do have a CM, you do have automatic detection rules and traffic analysis, but show me to what type of attacks you are protecting myself. Yeah, and I give just an example here: Windows management instrumentation. How many rules I have, and which are the rules which they are enabled or not enabled, because if they are not enabled, I won't even receive an alert there. So the first bit will be configure your system so you do have the rules enabled, so they generate an event which a SOC team can investigate and put in context. Yeah. But always there will be the context of everything. And similar, so this rule shows, that's for ourselves. You have for everything, for APIs, for, and first bit will be tell to the customer, start fixing this, put the rules there, because not you are vulnerable or you will be vulnerable. And that's also for internal attack and external attacks. For all of them, Office application startup, that's, you see, because back to the phishing, if the security configuration is properly done, the phishing emails won't be allowed to reach the user mailboxes. Yeah. Or they should be captured by the SOC team in advance. Very few should make it through. Yeah. And for example, for the create account or Office application, I have template macros. Do I allow it? I'm not allowing it. Add-ins. Which rules I have for add-ins? Office add-ins. That's a favorite place of attacker to introduce. I would say security holes. Yeah. And there again, which of the rules I have and which of the rules I don't have. And like that, for every device and for every machine. In fact, we introduce another, I would say, important part. I want to know this machine, how it used to be a month ago, what it changed. And you have the image now with vulnerabilities, packages, hotfixes, but I want to go a month ago and to see how was this machine a month ago. Yeah. And I see how many vulnerabilities I had. Oh, I had 0. So probably it was just installed. That means that this machine now is not being patched. Yeah. Which packages, which software packages I had. All these things, to allow us to do the comparison, you need to have this data. With or without AI, if I don't have and store this data for all the days of the month, I won't be able to do that analysis. So first is, and that's our analysis, find which data we need to keep how long I need to keep that data, and allow to a customer to easily go through and find, which is new, which is not new. It's like a diff, it shows me what's new, what's not new, what it has been superseded. So it's automatically show me point in time. And we do that not just for the packages, vulnerabilities, and so on, but also for the entropy, the device communications, let's say, with which other devices this device is talking. And there we need a machine. So in fact, probably in the beginning, the machine learning will generate more alerts, to answer the second question. However, with augmented learning, we will provide feedback and we will eliminate. So after, I would say, a warm-up period of up to 3 months per customer, we should decrease heavily the alerts in such a way that when we do have AI-generated warning or alert, to be really something we need to investigate, because the idea is to give us early information about a potential attack, not when already an attacker already stops the EDR on a server or starts to put some binaries on a servers and you can detect it. I need to see it before. Yeah. And that's where we believe that it will just increase slightly the number of investigation, but protect better the companies.
Yeah, so proactively
Yeah,
you
it
can
seems
set
like-
rules and
Correct.
secure the whole
Correct.
consortium.
Because
Okay.
in SOAR, SOAR, it's automatic, having rules automatically taking actions. We don't see it today. Yeah, it's hard. Even if we find a PC which is vulnerable, we need to go through a process of approval before I'm quarantining. I'm isolating that PC in the network, which can be done with various tools and depending of the customer, depending of which tools they have. But even if we have the technical capabilities to do it, the customers still want that escalations, unless it's critical, unless it's the CEO or whatever. But there are very clear scenarios when we are allowed to interact and react and when not. And hence, the SOAR capabilities, we don't believe that the market is yet ready for that. Yeah. Because there are so many scenarios, and there won't be two customers with the same scenarios allowing me to stop or not stop certain attacks.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, cybersecurity is the area when you constantly need to improve, to learn, to do something different because it changes. Theoretically, we had an hour for the meeting, but if I understood correctly, they allow us to stay longer. So if you have some questions, be free to ask. If not, we will see. And also just like commenting a little bit with the security issues, like usually we have some measurements against attacks, like we can add some filters and so on. And what sometimes happens, like, okay, I got several spear phishing attacks or some attacks, I added some rules, and some legitimate emails do not reach me as well. So too much paranoia also becomes very complicated. Like I know several situations when I was automatically saying, oh, spear phishing attack, and later, after getting additional email or even a call, like, oh, okay, it wasn't spear phishing. It was just nice proposal to something. So maybe there is some questions from the audience. Nope. Online? If no, yeah, like we with Ruta probably could continue regarding, because there is a never separate discussion area how to teach, how to produce, how to provide the information for different target groups and so on. But I assume, like, we are not sure what is your background, what's your question. So probably we can over the session, if unless someone wants to add something, and to have those questions directly. So if no one is asking, thank you all for the attendance.
Thank you, Joe, for inviting us.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.